Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 620. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Tuesday, the 20th of June, 2023. This time next month, we'll be at SSK.
Yep. Both Leslie and I use the she, her pronouns. And we're going to get started. We're both knitting socks. We're very, very socky today.
Yeah.
And very sweatery.
Socks are a good in-between project for me, so.
And they're a good hot weather, live in my book bag project for me, especially with all the doctor's visits that I've been going to. I have another one on Thursday. So, would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
Totally up to you.
I'll go first. I am knitting on a String Theory Colorwork sock in, it's the Science of Wine.
Phonology.
Thank you. I'm never going to remember that word, but Leslie's always here on hand to help me out. This is their sport weight, and I am knitting it on size 1 needles. So the first one is completely done. And I just started the second one. I'm using Wendy Johnson's Toe Up Heel with Gusset, which you can find in her first book, Toe Up Socks.
For everyone?
For everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, those are just rocking along. String Theory makes great stuff. And they are going to be vending at SSK. And I'm super stoked about that.
Caitlin and her husband, whose name I forget.
Yep. And they're going to have, on the Discord, they had like, tell us what you want on the Notions boxes. And they do these super cool, like, 3D printed cubes that are basically yarn boxes. And they have this magnetic closure that I am in love with. And then the second thing I have on the needles is a new sweater. So I am knitting on the Rib Lace Raglan by James Watts. And I am 14 rows into a lace pattern that is repeated 4 times for the raglan. So this is the very tip top of the sweater. I did cast on 1 size up for my size because
Gauge was different?
my gauge was a little bit different, but that's not why I did it. So it has you cast on a number, and then you're supposed to start working in the round. Well, it wouldn't even go around my 16-inch circulars, and I was like, I need something at least 16 inches wide to go over my head. Like,
So you did it because it didn't fit on your needles?
because I was worried it wouldn't go over my head. Like, I feel like 16 inches around is a pretty, like...
I mean, yeah, I think men's shirts, they have that measurement for around the neck. Like 16 or 16 and a half or whatever.
But that's usually for what, button-ups?
That's for button-up, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
So,
the very top.
Yeah, but it's not, button-ups aren't going over your head.
I understand this.
I'm using some Leap Fibro Studio.
What color?
I don't know. The tag is at home.
Oh.
So I will tell y'all next week. But it's a light blue with a strand of orange. So it's a 4-ply. And 3 plies are that blue, and 1 ply is the orange. This is a crop sweater. It only takes around 700 yards for my size. I feel like I have my swatch in the bag. Hold on.
That's my wake up from your nap alarm.
I didn't get a text from Leslie and arrived like 30 minutes earlier than I was supposed to. So this is the swatch. And the swatch is a little bit smaller. So he gives you, or James Watts gives you the directions for the swatch in the round. But I didn't want to do it in the round because when I do it in the round, I tend to pull too tight. You like strand around the back. And it's very deceptive for me, so I changed it to back and forth because mine doesn't change. But when I blocked it, I didn't like stretch it at all.
Yeah.
I just wet blocked it. So it is 3/4 of an inch too small over, so it should be 6 3/4, and it's just a little over 6. But I think with the blocking, it'll grow to the right
Does
measurement.
it stretch well?
Yeah.
When you,
Yeah, but I like the fiber. Like, I like the drape in the hand
Mm-hmm.
on that size 4s, so I didn't want to go up. And
I'm impressed you did a full-size swatch.
yeah, 6x6.
I know, I'm impressed you did a full-size
I
swatch.
usually do 6x6s.
Do you?
Yeah. Yes, for like everything.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had my swatch for my weekender, I would show you. But yeah, so that is being knit on size 4s, and I'm hoping to get one 14-row repeat done a day. Because it is a lace pattern, I can't really watch TV or anything, but I am listening to an audiobook with it. But yeah. And it's living in a fat squirrel Halloween bag, because every day is Halloween. And that's all I got. Those 2 things on the needles, although I'll probably cast on another thing this coming week.
So you want to do a 14-row repeat every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also want to spin on your supported spindle
An hour. Mm-hmm.
X period per day.
Mm-hmm.
What other daily?
That's it. Like, I try to pick up 8 things every time I get up out of my chair,
Yeah,
but that's like, that's it. That's all I got. I do have some like spinning that I want to do for SSK, but I'm not putting like a time limit on that. Like a time goal. The hour, I wouldn't be putting a time on the supported spindling, but Leslie and I have a bet going, and I have to win.
Absolutely going to win this bet.
Yeah. I'm almost at 4 ounces complete out of 8. So, we'll see.
So I am working on a sock. When I showed you guys last time, I am pretty sure that I had just done the heel flap. I hadn't yet turned the heel. And that was on sock number 1. So I finished sock number 1. And I haven't tried it on. I think it's going to fit me. But if it doesn't fit me, it'll fit somebody. So this is at a Knit Spin farm in the...
It's one of the birds. Sandhill crane?
Yes, that's it. Sandhill crane.
I've been playing a lot of Wingspan on my Switch.
And I'm on the second one, and I've turned the heel and done the gusset, and I've just got, so I'm right here on the second one. So I've just got another 4 inches or so, and then I start decreasing for the toe. I'm not using a pattern. I do my typical 56 stitch top down sock for sport weight. For fingering weight, I tend to do 72 or 76. And yeah, heel flap with a round heel, and that's pretty much it. I do it on the size 3 needles.
Mine are larger on size 1 than Leslie's are on size 3.
I knit very tightly, so I typically have to go up at least 1 needle size.
And I go
sometimes
down usually.
more than that, depending on the fabric. And then I started a new thing. So I was going through some bags of stuff from SSK, and these were gifts, not things I purchased. Sometimes people will bring things.
Just so sweet of them.
Or we grab stuff off the Free to a Good Home table, like just like everybody else. We're as susceptible to that as you guys. But Jen from that yarn shop that we visited in Indiana,
Yeah.
whose name I forget now, but it was like the best yarn shop I've ever been in.
Because of the recliners?
There's like a big circle of recliners, and like it's not too cramped, a really good selection. I'm going to have to look it up, because it was a great yarn shop. So she had given me some linen.
Cool.
From, it says Eileen Fisher, but like I tried to look that up, and Eileen Fisher is like a clothing company, so maybe this is the yarn they use to make some of their clothing. I don't know. I couldn't find the yarn anywhere, because I was just going to get like a
because it says Eileen Fisher outlet cone.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it was left over from making some of their garments. I'm not sure. But it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,400-ish yards of DK weight linen, 100% linen. So I went through my queue and didn't find anything that I thought would specifically work for it. So I just swatched it on a couple size needles and liked how it looked on a 7 for a DK weight, and just did a search based on gauge. I used Ravelry to search, which I realize not everyone can because of the issues with accessibility, but luckily I am able to use it. So I am knitting Edgartown Light by Alicia Plummer. It's a really simple top-down raglan with some little pearl ridges at the sleeves and the hem. It's nothing super fancy. It requires a little bit more yardage than what I think I have, but I don't plan on doing full-length sleeves.
You could do short sleeves if you
so
wanted, yeah.
I don't think it'll be a problem. Plus, I weighed these cakes, and it's roughly 250 yards to 100 grams, but none of these cakes were 100 grams. They were all like 118, 122, like, so I think I'll have extra yardage anyway. So, anyhow, I cast it on.
Look at you.
And because it's linen, I typically don't worry about like putting the yarn in like some sort of holder, but because it's linen, it will, you just look at it wrong and the skein will fall apart.
Yeah, those are the snaps from TheKnitGirlls. They have some rainbow ones right now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Teresa sent this as a gift a while back, so, because, you know, she knows I like red.
Yeah.
So I've just been keeping it in here and just leaving a couple of the snaps undone so I can pull it out, but it can't escape.
It's a good way of doing it, especially when you have violent dogs.
And
violently affectionate dogs.
Something violently affectionate is the title of the show. At 12 minutes, in case I forget. So, something Laura and I never really talk about, but we both do, is for years now, we both pull from the outside of the skein.
Yeah, we do.
When we knit. And that's for a couple of reasons. One is that it keeps the skein from collapsing in on itself.
Especially with slick fibers.
Yeah, especially with slippery fibers. But it also keeps it from tangling. Or it tangles less because it's not rubbing against other fibers. Like when you pull it out of the middle, it's rubbing against the other fibers and it catches them. So I don't remember when it was, but it was years ago at some project. I just got sick of it, and so ever since then, I've always pulled from the outside of the skein.
It also doesn't add twist. So when you pull from the middle, it adds twist as you pull up, and if you pull from the outside, it does not add twist.
Good to know.
It's Jillian Marino did a really cool thing with a ribbon.
Oh yeah, it was on Knitty, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was.
Knitty or Modern Daily.
But
that Jillian Marino, she's a smartie.
She is. She's the one who taught me, or I don't know if it was she who taught me or you mentioned it as a tip, but to remember when you're doing left lifted increases or right lifted increases, to always remember which is which. Is it based on what direction the needle is in the stitch?
If you're a thrower.
If you're a thrower. If you're putting the needle in and it's pointing to the right before you like wrap your yarn and pull it, then that's a right leaning increase. If it's to the left, then it's a left leaning increase. I've never had to look it up since then.
Also with decreases. SSK isn't it two together? So
those I've never had as much trouble with, but that is good to know. So this is a V-neck pullover and it's raglan, so it's not started in the round because it's a V-neck, right? And it starts here at the neck, so you're going back and forth until the V is deep enough, at which point you'll join it. So I am just doing a whole lot of raglan increases right now. I am changing the pattern a little bit because it has you do, so right now I'm in a 6-row repeat where row 1 is just raglan increases, 2 is purl, row 3 is neckline and raglan increases, row 4 is purl, and then row 5 is the same, or is just raglan increases, but row 6 you increase on the purl side by doing a purl front and back, and I don't like that bump that you get, so I'm just doing
I make one?
Yeah, on an alternate row, so
my raglan, which I've never had before, is increases every 4th row. So I'm going to be interested to see how that works with the depth with the lace.
Yeah.
Because typically, like this measurement, so raglans go from here to here. So from my underarm up to like where my t-shirt would be is like 10 inches on me. So we'll see how that works. I can always change it so that I'm adjusting. I'm knitting a little bit more rapidly, which will be, I could figure it out in the lace, but it would be annoying. But yeah, I can figure it out.
But yeah, I mean, the more you knit, the more you determine what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. What fits your body.
You know, the look of and what you don't. So, yeah, like this is not too tight. I didn't want to knit linen at a bulletproof gauge, and that would have been very easy for me to do. So,
it looks nice.
Yeah, I'm happy with it so far. It's just a gray kind of blob at this moment, but
that's fun.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on. You have a finished thing, right?
I do. I feel like there should be like, I want to know.
Like firecrackers.
Yes.
Look at that.
So my Weekender light is done. It's blocked. I haven't tried it on yet since I blocked. I did spin out the water while blocking.
Yeah, it looks plenty. Like,
yeah. Oh, it's going to be
a good
much.
ease.
Yeah, it's definitely that boxy shape. I just didn't want, I blocked the sleeves like that way vertically because I didn't want them to go too long on me. Because that is something that can happen if you block the body on a boxy sweater larger. It actually comes over further and your sleeves can get longer. But yeah, I spun out the water so it wouldn't grow too much, which is a helpful tip that I got from Hohi Locatelli when I took her boxy class. And yeah, it's done. And I'm going to take it to SSK. This and a shawl are what people want to see so far. I put a little thing in the Discord like, hey, what do you want to see? The one that you wore to the Oxford Fiber Festival. The Tiffany Lynn one that I did with hand spun and mohair.
Okay. The purple.
Yeah, the purple shawl. So, yep. Someone wants to knit it and wants to like see the dimensions on it. So yeah. That is it for me for finished objects. You also have a finished sweater. We're like twinning today with our socks and our finished sweaters and our new Raglan sweaters. And there's a lot of twinning going on, my friend.
My sweater only took me 3 weeks. But it was also only 800 yards.
3 months. And it was 1,800 yards.
Oh, okay. I thought it was more.
And it was knit on size 1 needles.
Mine
and
was knit on a size 8. So this is the Tia by This Bird Knits. It's just essentially like a t-shirt with a tiny little bit of lace panel at the top. It's a very loose gauge. This is a fingering weight wool. It's pearlescent from Colorway, W-A-E.
That was the last of your SSKs. Yep. You needed a little like trumpet fanfare as well. Do.
But yes, it's I haven't tried it on yet, but like just putting it across my body, it's gonna fit great. It's gonna be a nice piece I can wear over like a cami.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm really happy with it. I can see myself knitting another one of these, but with slightly longer sleeves perhaps in the future, maybe out of some Volmise or something.
Ooh, that would be a great way to use a Volmise.
2 skeins of the same color from Urban Girls, because their skeins are heavy.
I have some from SSK last year that I bought for a tee.
So yeah, I'm really happy with it. It came out great, and it's very light, so that makes sweaty me happy. But yeah, I have no spinning.
I have spinning. Like I said earlier, I'm up to almost 4 ounces on the spindle spinning. I should hit 4 ounces tonight, but I wanted to spin some Inglenook for an SSK door prize. So this is Inglenook Bat in the Braid number 45. It is 60% Cordale, 20% silk, and 20% rose in the Pussy Willow colorway. And it kind of like was a gradient. So the plan for this is to chain ply. I spun it on my Daedalus Starling, and I will apply it on my Hanson Mini because it's got a woolly winder. And I like to ply with a woolly winder. And I'll use one of the Acreworks clampy Kates because I can change the angle. I like when I do chain plying, I like my bobbin to be more at a horizontal angle so it comes off smoothly. And those clampy Kates are perfect for that. And they have an extra long one now, so I ordered that for this specific project because I wanted to see how it works with the larger bobbins. Yeah.
Do the regular dateless bobbins not fit on?
They do. They do. They're the magpies don't, and the Louettes don't.
Yeah.
And I would think the woolly ants probably don't, but those ones do okay. But with the clampy Kate, I really like to push the Tensi tamer down, so I like a little bit more.
Aiden, he is very clever in his design.
Very awesome. So are all the people who work at Acreworks. They're sending us one of their new Acre Kates that has the long extended for a door prize.
That's
and then
nice.
another thing as well. Like, they're so sweet.
They're very kind to us. And to everyone who's going to win prizes.
Yes. Because we don't actually win door prizes. No. But it's really nice that they support SSK.
I like how you spelled pussy below in the show notes.
I don't even know. I can't even read right now.
It's got a W in pussy.
Who knows?
So
what is typing?
We both signed up for this thing that Knit Spin Farm offered to do. It's like a sort of a round robin for Snail Mail, just to send a little happy something to someone else.
With art. Mm-hmm.
And so I tried 4 times to paint and then use colored pencils and then use watercolored pencils to make a snail. And it failed every time, like really, really terribly. So finally I was like, I'm just going to sketch it in pencil. I'm going to start slower.
There you go.
So I got...
Oh, look at that. See, you said snail, and I immediately went like cartoon snail.
Oh, well, I mean, this was what there was a YouTube tutorial for.
I love it.
So that is what I went with. This was the cutest one that wasn't like cartoony. So, yeah, this will go to whoever my person is. I haven't even looked to see who it's going to be.
Are you going to do watercolor over that?
No, because I'll mess it up.
Okay.
Nope. I was thinking about maybe getting some colored pencils and filling in some areas, and I was like, nope, I'm just going to mess it up. It's done. I'm going to stop messing with it.
I'm going to do a tutorial that I saw on TikTok, which is like, I don't know, someone I'm following is like, how to slow your ADHD brain drawing activities, and so I'm going to do one of those. I'm not drawing a snail.
Oh, okay. Oh, the marker, and then you fill it in?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
My artistic level of drawing is not to the level of Leslie's. It's more stick figures.
That's attempt number 4.
But that's amazing. You should be super proud of that.
It's the first thing I've drawn that isn't a stick figure, so I really am kind of proud of it.
You should be. And you've been doing a ton with watercolor lately, too, so.
Yeah. What about books and stuff?
I have been listening to Diamond Fire, which is kind of like an in-between book in the Alana Andrews series. And I've been listening to a middle grade book as I've been working on my sweater called The Donut Fix by Jessie Janowitz. It is about a family, specifically the main character is like middle school age boy, I would say like 11-year-old boy, and his dad loses his job and they can't afford to sit in New York City anymore. So for the first time ever, they are leaving their apartment in New York City and have bought a house in the middle of nowhere. Upstate New York, which is purple. And it's got a little bit of like Judy Blume, what is his name? Tales of the Fourth Grade Nothing type vibes, but I'm enjoying it.
Cool. I read a book that I really devoured. I read it really quickly. Called One Dark Window. It's the first in a series by Rachel Gillig, and as far as I can tell, it's her first published book. And it's sort of gothic fantasy, kind of. There's a very small romantic element in it, but it's very mild.
Male, female, male, male,
Male,
female,
female.
Okay.
But it's like all of the magic in the world has been forced into this deck of cards, sort of like tarot-ish cards.
Uh-huh.
And you have to unite the deck in order to save, the day or whatever. But it's very, very good. So I pre-ordered the second book, and it's not out until October, so kind of bummed about that. But I really enjoyed the book.
Did you read the new Alana Andrews yet?
I haven't yet. It's downloaded. I tend to save new Alana Andrews for like when I need a pick-me-up.
Yeah.
When I need like.
Absolutely.
Or if I can't find something, I'm just sort of frustrated.
Yeah.
And then I'm re-listening to The Institute by Stephen King, which is, it's Stephen King, so there's a horror element to it, but it's more intellectual kind of horror. A bunch of kids that have very mild telepathic or telekinetic abilities are abducted by a program, and they do terrible experiments on them, that sort of thing. So I listened to it a couple years ago, and I'm listening to it again. What else is going on?
Stash Dash is happening. There's lots of SSK stuff happening. Both are on our Discord. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
We went to a craft show a couple weeks ago on a Saturday. We went
Crafts and drafts.
Yep, we went car shopping on Friday. Leslie took like her first day off all year. That was a bust.
It wasn't a bust, it was just well, maybe not a bust. I hadn't reckoned with the fact that interest rates are very different than what I thought they were, or what they were when I bought the car I'm in now. And that's kind of bumming me out. I don't need a new car.
Yeah.
I just wanted something a little bigger, but.
And I'm still rolling with my 2006 Corolla, probably until the wheels fall off with the way the interest rates are right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. And I was not super happy with the salesman because they outright lied to you about the CRV being hybrid only. And that's not cool. But, and we were there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very long time.
It was a time suck, at which point I just had to put my foot down and be like, I'm leaving this in 5 minutes. Anything else you need to tell me, it needs to be in the next 5 minutes.
Yep. So, and then we got good Mexican food, and we've been watching RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. We both love Jimbo. We've been, what else have we been doing? We've been watching Taskmaster.
The 15th season.
Which is a delight.
I don't know who wins, so don't spoil it for me.
It's a delight. And Project Runway All-Stars comes back soon, so we'll probably be into that. I've been watching a lot of, I'm all caught up on Broken Wood and Sister Boniface, and I'm going to catch up on Will Trent. So that's going to be my supported spindling time, and I've been watching a lot of documentaries. There's a good one about Tour de France from last year on Netflix that just came out, and then we both watched Happy Shiny People.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something. Yeah, I think that's about it for us.
Yep. Buffy is getting up and stretching because she's tired of my nonsense.
SSK people, we will be sending out our last email pre-SSK probably next week with breakout sessions and all that jazz. And I think that's it. I cannot wait for SSK. I'm very excited. So I'm excited to see people. I'm excited to
I'm excited
chill.
to have to force Laura to sit down and put her foot up. Because that is absolutely going to happen.
Yeah. I'm hoping for steroids.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, all that jazz.
Until then, or until next week, we hope you guys have a really nice week and weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.